So if you're not new to the channel, you probably noticed a couple of things. Namely, I still have my hair, and 2, we are in a new setup. Well, the new setup is for reasons that I'm not really going to explain, but I'm hoping that the mic is going to work better on the laptop that I'm using here. And I still have my hair because this is being filmed prior to when my brother cut it. I got a new phone a while back, and one of the things that because I went from like an iPhone SE to one of the new Galaxies, one of the things I figured out about the Galaxies is they have something called Gemini, which is basically Siri, but for Androids. Hey Google, it pulls it up. And I can ask it any question that I have. It's basically the Siri version, but for Galaxies. The other thing I noticed is that it was actually a lot more useful than Siri was. For example, I can say things like, what is the real name for Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata? I just want to insert this really quickly. When I was editing this video, right as we got to this section, I had my phone sitting near the speaker, and it actually pulled the thing up on my phone while I was editing this, which I also think is pretty cool.
Its real name is Piano Sonata No. 14 in C-sharp minor, quasi una fantasia, Op. 27, number 2. The popular name Moonlight Sonata was given by poet and music critic Ludwig Rellstab 5 years after Beethoven's death.
It's really helpful, unlike Siri, which would probably end up saying, you have to connect to the internet to do this, or would probably say, you should go on Safari, here's what I found on the web. One of the things I also noticed that Gemini could do is finish song lyrics. I was randomly screwing around one day and I found this out. So I was wondering, how well does Gemini actually know metal? And that's what we're going to find out today. So right here I have on a secondary monitor, I have Gemini pulled up, and we're going to get ready to put in song lyrics or some things. But before we do that, I want to see what Gemini's overall knowledge of just metal is. I want to see if it knows kind of what metal is, what different types of metal are, if it knows things like screaming. So we're just going to start by asking Gemini what metal actually is. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, you put your punctuation inside your quotations if that's how it ends a sentence. That's proper grammar. All right, let's see. Metal music, often referred to simply as metal, is a subgenre of rock music that emerged in the late, with boundaries are blurry, and there are many subgenres. Several key elements typically quantify a song: metal, distorted guitar, emphasis on rhythm section, vigorous vocals, shrieks, screams, I love that, shrieks, intensive and aggressive sound, lyrical themes. Without a strict rule, metal music often explores darker or more serious lyrical themes, such as fantasy, mythology, rebellion, social criticism, or internal struggles like fear or anger. Okay. Oh, that's good. Like Black Sabbath has a debate on whether Black Sabbath is actually metal or not. That's good. Gemini already has given a pretty good response for what is metal. So now let's ask, what are extreme vocals? Extreme vocals are a broad category of vocal techniques used in many subgenres of metal, as well as in other aggressive forms of music like hardcore punk, grindcore. Grindcore is, I consider grindcore metal. Unlike traditional singing, they are characterized by their unclean and harsh sounds, often employing vocal fry, guttural. No, not vocal fry. Not vocal fry. Not vocal fry. Vocal fry is not a fry scream. Primary goal is to add a raw, aggressive, intense texture. Yep. Rather than conveying a sing-song melody. Okay. Death growls. This is something that's appropriated by, like, the one woman. I think it's, like, Melissa Crow or somebody like that. Like, she even got brought on by the Wall Street Journal to give a thing about screaming. But she really doesn't know what she's talking about is the biggest problem. What she called a false quote was really a yell, and what was an actual false quote she called a death growl. Black metal shrieks, contrast to a low growl, high-pitched, raspy, often pain-sounding scream. Hardcore shouts, yells, pig squeals, and gutturals. Pig squeals and gutturals is definitely, like, this is the most accurate one out of all of these. Because, like, hardcore shouts and yells, I wouldn't exactly consider those to be extreme vocals. I would consider those to be harsh vocals. Harsh vocals, in my mind, you have this umbrella diagram where you have harsh vocals, you have vocals at the top, and then you have clean singing and harsh vocals, And then harsh vocals expands into extreme vocals and everything else. Extreme vocals, I think that for me, the cutoff of what to consider extreme vocals versus harsh vocals is pitch screams. Pitch screams are extreme vocals, and everything past that is extreme vocals. But before pitch screams, like, you just have rasp. That's harsh vocals in my opinion, because rasp is found everywhere. What is a guttural scream? Guttural scream is a type of vocalization that is very deep, low, and often described as sounding defining a term with a term, which means it comes from the throat. All of it comes from the throat. All that sound comes from the throat. It is a key element to extreme vocal styles, particularly in genres like death metal. Yep. The sound is not a traditional scream, but more of a throaty growl or rumble. It is produced by distorting the voice in a way that creates harsh, an unclean tone. Technique involves using the diaphragm to push air out and manipulating the mouth, tongue, and throat to create a low rumbling sound. When done correctly, it should not be painful, but it can be physically demanding. That is true. Guttural vocals are often used to create a monstrous or beast-like effect, and the lyrics are frequently unintelligible to a listener not following along with the lyric sheet. It's a foundational element of the death metal genre, where vocalists often use gutturals to evoke a sense of darkness, chaos, and intensity, matching the aggressive sound of the music itself. Yeah. Oftentimes you can, try following along to a Lorna Shore song without a lyric sheet. Sometimes you can kind of understand what they're saying, but oftentimes you really can't. Realistically, though, I want to say everything is done with the diaphragm, Gemini. Everything is done with the diaphragm. You have to push from the diaphragm. Well, not really push from the diaphragm, but you use the diaphragm to control your air. So I don't exactly agree with that. How are pig squeals? There we go. And gutturals related? Because they are related. A pig squeal is a type of guttural. If you look at the shaping, they're both types of harsh, unclean vocals, but they are distinct techniques that create different sounds. Except, oftentimes, pig squeals are gutturals. A pig squeal is oftentimes a fried guttural shaped in a certain way. It's just how you distort the overtone in it. If I just work with overtone, all I'm doing is I'm moving the sound around, and that overtone is changing. So then if I put a fry on there, all I'm changing is the overtone, but it's changing the overall sound of it. I have a guttural position with my mouth, though, and my tongue. They're in a pig squeal is something that should be low, but it is high based on the overtone. Deep rumbling, the hallmark of death metal, are more specific types of extreme vocalization. They are high-pitched, often gurgling sounding that gets resemblance to the sound of a pig. This is done by creating a resonance chamber inside the mouth, which results in a whistling or bubbling quality. In a summary, you can think of it this way: a pig squeal is a type of guttural, but not all gutturals are pig squeals. Yes. Guttural is a general category of deep, throaty growl. A pig squeal is a sub-technique that takes a guttural sound and modifies it to create a much higher and more unusual pitch. Yeah, alright. Yeah, definitely true. Alright, now we're going to get down to a big discussion. What are false chord screams, and what are fry screams? False chord screams and fry screams are two most common types, fundamental types of creating harsh sort of vocals. They use your false folds, also known as ventricular folds, which are located just above your two vocal folds. They always talk about breath support from the diaphragm, but everything, even with singing, you need to have breath support from the diaphragm. Low, throaty, rumble, guttural sound. It's beefier, yep. How it feels when done correctly. You should feel vibration in the upper. I don't know about upper throat. I feel about here. I guess it is a bit higher, so I guess it is. No pain or strain. It's compared to the feeling of a frustrated sigh or a deep growl. Yeah. Fry screams, what they are. Fry scream is created using a vocal fry. I don't agree with that. They don't use the vocal fry register, and your vocal fry register isn't just your vocal fry register is also like vocal undertones are used with the same idea of a vocal fry, and I can just separate my vocal folds at even at a high note. I can separate my vocal folds and get a vocal fry sound. It's not necessarily where you are in your register. It's more so about pulling your vocal folds apart or just relaxing them apart. Better way to think about it. Much higher, more static-like or white noise texture, generally less voluminous. Yep. Yep. But it's known for its sharpness. Yep. Highly versatile and can be used to create a wide range of tones. Oh, yeah. What exactly quantifies screamo? I don't know. When performed correctly, fires very light, almost effortless vocalization. There should be a sense of air restriction, and the distortion is created with minimal effort. It should not be painful. Many vocalists find friar screams more challenging to learn initially, but note that they are often easier to perform for extended periods once master. That's because you normally use your voice every day, so your voice is used to being used. In short, the main difference lies in the source of distortion. Yep, okay, perfect. Wow, they're doing pretty good so far. Can the epiglottis, let's see if I can spell this correctly, be used to create vocal distortion? This is a sensitive topic in the extreme vocal community because some people agree, some people don't agree. I got solid leaf shape, yep. Trapdoor manipulates the type of distortion that using the two vocal folds instead they bring the arytenoid cartilages and the lower part of the epiglottis closer together. A smaller constricted space where the air is forced through, causing the tissues to vibrate. Quiet, raspy, or snarling noise. It is not loud. Volumes like roasting or duck-like or witch-like quality. Because of the technique involves part of the vocal anatomy that typically isn't used for sound production, it is considered by many vocal coaches to be one of the riskiest forms of vocal distortion. The biggest danger is potential inflammation of the epiglottis, a serious condition called epiglottitis. That's a mouthful, which can block the airway and be life-threatening. Be gentle, avoid pain, seek professional guidance. Yes, okay, so we have a breakdown of what this actually is, and we have a breakdown of how it's actually probably going to be very bad for you. I'm personally on the side of avoid epiglottis-based distortion because your epiglottis isn't meant to create sound in your throat. It's meant to block your larynx when you do stuff like drink water so that you don't drown. Who is the best extreme vocalist to ever live? Now, there could be many answers for this. There's probably going to be a lot of people that say people like Corpse Grinder, like Mitch Luker. Nowadays, some people are saying Will Ramos. In my opinion, the best answer for this is Chester Bennington, as not only was he just a really talented singer, but he also had life behind his screams that not many people have. Best is always a subjective term. Okay. With this criteria. Okay. Yep. Death. Yeah, because death followed death. George Corpse Grinder Fisher. Yep. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Oh, yeah. Cause yeah, she was like one of the first female vocalists to really take that to the stage, and then you have people that paved the way for people like Cortland LaPlante. Will Ramos, yep, yeah. Ex Cannibal Corpse, yeah. Phantasmal Pantera, best. You didn't have Chester on that list. Oh my gosh, I really hate that. You should have had Chester on that list. Now that we've established that Gemini knows what it's talking about, kind of with screams, let's talk about subgenres of metal. Now, let me just give my guesses. Obviously, we're gonna have nu metal up there. Nu metal is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, metal subgenre. Because of bands like Slipknot really paving the way, and people like Limp Bizkit. Metalcore is definitely gonna be up there because nobody really knows what metalcore is. So metalcore is kind of the bucket that we throw everything else into. Probably going to throw death metal up there. They're not going to say deathcore. I don't think so because deathcore, they don't really know what deathcore is. And I imagine AI is going to lump death metal and deathcore together. But I would say nowadays deathcore is more popular than death metal. And obviously just heavy metal, very classic, very popular. A lot of older metal bands fall into that category. Oh, I forgot about thrash metal. Yeah, thrash metal. Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax. They are known as the Big Four. Nu metal, yep, death metal, black metal. Yeah, they're not gonna do deathcore. Black metal. Oh, I forgot about black metal. Glam metal, power. I forgot about power metal. Prog. They put prog metal. Wow. Yeah, Dream Theater and Tool. Opeth. Wouldn't you throw Gojira in there too? Isn't Gojira prog metal? I don't know. Doom metal, yeah, very slow. And metalcore, yep. Nobody really knows what metalcore is. We just kind of lump everything in there. Alright, nice. Now, we're going to get to the part that I really think I'm going to have the most fun with. We're going to do finish the lyrics. So, if I remember this correctly, I should be able to provide Gemini with lyrics of a song, and Gemini will try its best to finish it. So, we're going to start with something very simple. We're going to And now the end is near. And so I face my final curtain. All right, yeah. Honestly, My Way is my favorite Frank Sinatra song. I love that song. I listen to deathcore, classical, and 2000s pop, and Frank Sinatra. Those are my subgenres. We're gonna keep light for a minute. We're gonna go. Surely heaven waits for you. Let's see if it can get. It's not a very common. It's probably a common lyric, but it's like toward the end of the song. Surely heaven waits for you. Oh, Stairway to Heaven. I was thinking Carry On My Wayward Son. Let's see. There'll be peace. There'll be peace when you are done. There we go. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. I've actually never seen Supernatural. We're gonna stay light for a bit. We're gonna go. If you lose small mind, you free your life. I think I'm quoting that correctly. Oh, well, okay. Life is a waterfall. One in the river and one again after the fall. Again after the fall. Swimming through the void, we hear the word. I'm not even gonna try to sing that next one because my range does not go that high. How can you see into my eyes? How can you see into my eyes like open doors? Like open doors, leading you down into my core, where I become so numb. Having fun here. We're gonna get a bit heavier quickly. We're gonna go to a spirit box song. We're gonna just do the first lyric. Yeah, there we go. Nice. What do you think is this about the song's meaning? I have no idea what the meaning of that song is. All right. When everything repeats, it's easier to cut. Oh, it's easier to cut us down and point out our defeat. No, maybe you were right. Oh, voice crack. Maybe I was wrong. Can you tell I can't sing? But I've been. No. Okay, won't get trivium. This is the part where it gets frustrating. Is as you start to get to more heavier songs, oftentimes there's a lot of lighter songs that have the same lyrics. We're gonna do baby metal, but the only baby metal I think there's an English version for. Probably the only distinct lyric I can find. It's baby metal. Yeah! We're gonna try Lorna Shore. This is where it's gonna get hard. This is where it's gonna get hard. Let's pick Into the Earth. Let's do Sensation Leaves as I'm drifting slowly. Do we want to really make it so it'll get... No, we'll just do Sensation Leaves as I'm drifting slowly. Illusions to... There we go. Okay. Into the Earth by Lorna Shore. Nice. Alright, so it got Lorna Shore before it got Trivium. That's weird. Let's do my favorite Lorna Shore song. Of the Abyss. Let's do We Are One. We are one in the dust. In the nothingness. And it should be We're infinite, misbegotten children of the abyss. Yeah, nice. What is it about this type of music that you enjoy? I like the vocals a lot. It's kind of my whole personality at this point. Oh, let's do their probably most famous song, Pain Remains One, Dancing Like Flames. Oh my gosh. If the past is just dust and our future could be a dream. If all we have is... No! We're dancing like flames, flickering in the night. We sway in time with the wind before melting away. No! Okay. You're far from my reach, but not far out of sight. You know the way to my heart, but you just play the strings again. Flicker like shadows. Wait, what? Is this a real song? I don't think this is a real song. I think it's making up songs. Alright, let's just do Dear Desolation. That should be pretty easy. Echoes of the Void is a fake band. I can't find it on YouTube Music. I believe it is a fake band. We gotta start a new chat. Dear Desolation. Pull me deeper into flame. One by one, the houses. Is it the houses? I think it's one by one, the houses rot. I'm not asking you to make up lyrics, Gemini. I used to clean a drain pipe, get enough of pain like you're corrupted. No! It won't even get Bring Me the Horizon, which is arguably one of the most famous metal bands to exist. Look into your eye. Look into my eyes. Your eyes are my eyes. This is broken English, so it should be tearing all templates invented in tranquility. Our highest goal is fluttering by domination. Now step spiat on what you call morality. Okay, this should be really easy. Recreant, say it to my face. This should be really easy. It has the name of the song in it. Yes. I don't think it is. Let me search up recreant. Yeah, no, it's not. It's making up lyrics now. I know I've already made like 5 of these to put in the video, but I want to make another. Here's my theory about what's going on. I think that when Gemini runs into something where it's like a curse or it's something where it's just a sensitive topic, oftentimes it will make up lyrics or it'll make up a band if it thinks that maybe the person that's asking these questions isn't necessarily mature enough. Now, I mean, I've not really given any data on that. I've just been asking for it to finish the song lyrics. So I think that the thing that Gemini does is when it comes to a more sensitive topic, unless you outline it yourself, it will not address it. Like unless I were to say the lyrics, then it would go on. But it doesn't want to be the one that's providing that type of material. I would have to provide it first, and then it would know that it's okay to provide me with it. Something like that. I know that really doesn't make much sense. That's just my running theory about what's going on and why it makes up stuff. Where we come from, the saw is, again, should be really easy because it has the name of the song in it. But when I was experimenting with it, it has the tendency to mess it up. There we go. So now we fly and we're free, right? So now we fly and we're free. I hope that I have enough room to actually save this video on this laptop because it doesn't have much room. So now we fly and we're fly ever free. Fly ever free. We're free beyond the thunderstorm. On towards the wilderness, our quest carries on. I think we have time for one more lyric, so let's make it a good one. If you're wondering why I'm doing mostly deathcore, it's because I listen to mostly deathcore. Oh, recreating my image within the paradoxical. It should be like originated with burn in the embers of my feeble heart. Alright, that was fun. If you have any ideas of things that I should experiment with Gemini on, of seeing how well it knows metal, put them in the comments. And this was fun. I kind of want to do this again. Hope you all enjoyed this video. So I didn't get a video to you last week. I wanted to have the time to prepare for this one and to test Gemini out to see if it would actually work well with this, and to get an idea for the parameters on like how it drew lyrics. I think like when it started to create stuff. Like I saw Echoes of the Void, and I'm pretty sure Echoes of the Void is a fake band because it said, "Oh, this is from that. This is from that." All this stuff is from Echoes of the Void, so I think it made it up. But yeah. Any other ideas of what to do with this? Well, my hair actually doesn't look too bad. Let me know in the comments. Thank you all for watching. May the Lord bless all thy ways. See you all in the next video.